Thank you for joining us. Before we get started on today's episode, just a quick reminder to please smash the like button in the bottom right corner and subscribe to Locked On Senators so you can be the first to know when new content arrives. The best way to help us grow is to comment on the video as well. So let us know if this is a player you want the Sens to draft or you think they should stay away from, and let us know why as well. This is one of 64 draft profiles that we're producing. So let's get into it. All right, Pilsy, we're coming back to North America for our next player on our profile, coming in at 27th on our Locked On Senators draft rankings from the QMJHL's Gatineau Olympiques defenseman Tristan Luneau.
And this is another right shot defenseman, Ross. So you know I've already got my ears perked up. I'm already excited about this guy. The right shot defenseman guys have been my highest rated in our whole prospect countdown here. But he's got good size. He's not one of those, is he too small? Or are you worried about that? No, he's 6'2". I've got him at 175 pounds here.
Oh, he's gained up. We've got the draft combine is the updated weight, 189. So he's bulking.
So that's big. That's a big upside. So I think pretty much for 17, 18-year-old defenseman, this is the ideal size. Like, I don't think this is too big or too small. It's right where you want him. 6'2", 189. If you're watching on YouTube, Ross has a graphic up here. 63 games played, 12 goals, 31 assists, good for 43 points. And he's got some pedigree. He was the number 1 overall pick in the 2020 QMJHL draft.
Yes, he was. And the Gatineau Olympiques had a chance to really define what their process was going to be, because they drafted first, second, and fourth.
That's crazy.
In that draft. They also drafted 8th, Pilsy. And with the 8th pick, they got Noah Warren, who's a big right shot defenseman as well, who was meeting with the Senators in one of the photos they posted. We aren't sure about Tristan Luneau, but what we are sure about is that the pedigree is there and the offensive capabilities are there as well. When he was even younger, like, he's always been a guy to put up points, but he's also cerebral as well. I like the way that he controls the pace coming out of his own zone. He doesn't seem like a guy who ever panics. And when we look at the rankings, there is a wide variety, but maybe not as much. Like, if we take out the Olympic style, right? Like, elite prospects, very low on him at 55. Bob McKenzie at 21. Well, besides that, we've got 24 for Craig Button, 31 for Scott Wheeler, 30 for Chris Peters, and 37 for Corey Pronman. Tony Ferrari does not have him in his top 32, but what we know is that his average comes out to be 33. So all that to say, when you're looking at Tristan Luneau, you're looking at a guy who's taken on a leadership role with Gatineau. He's wearing the A, as you can see in the photo there. I don't know about these jerseys, though, for the Gatineau Olympiques.
Yeah, I don't love him either. Yeah.
Anyways, that's not going to affect his draft stock. But what will is what his upside could potentially be. Is he one of those players who, we've seen it before, they're a top pick in the juniors, but then they don't continue their upward trajectory at that same token. And I think Luneau is a guy who a year ago, let's say right before COVID, so he had just come in to being that number 1 pick. You probably saw him as a bit higher than the 27th best prospect for the NHL.
Yeah, and I feel like that's fair. And I really think he's going to be a first-round guy. I think he has a lot of tools here. I kind of gave him the label jack of all trades, but master of none. You know what I mean? Like, It just seemed his skating's good. His passing's good. His hockey IQ is good. He's good defensively. Like, everything... I would say everything is a little bit above average. Like, I'll say better than good. And that's where a first overall pick should be. Nothing should be like a red flag. And
right.
I really see him as a two-way defenseman. He's very defensively aware, has good gap control and active stick, but he can also be a quarterback on a top power play unit. And he's a great setup man. Like, he's so patient with the puck on the power play. Like, he's not a guy where it's like, holy crap, I have the puck. We're on the man advantage. We're stuck in this small zone. I got to be snapping it around. He really takes that moment to soak it all in, let guys move around, let guys cycle, and then try to set them up. But it's not necessarily a bad thing because he's so patient. He doesn't take low percentage shots or passes. He doesn't take too many risks. But he also becomes very predictable because he doesn't have a great shot, I find. And then it makes it easy for teams to just be like, okay, If he wants to hang out with the puck on his stick for 35 seconds during a power play and doesn't get anything towards net or create any chaos, let him. Let him hold on to it. And then when he does move it, we've got all the other guys. We've got 4 guys on the other 4 guys, and he's not going to shoot it because he's not confident in his shot enough. So I think that's one downside to him, is he doesn't have that shot to create space by having opponents wonder, is he going to pass? Is he going to shoot? They always know he's going to try to pass it.
100%. Now, Scott Wheeler has a very good last line on him. And Wheeler covered the Gatineau Olympiques for a while. So that's probably where his love from Abramov comes.
It
But
is,
that's neither here nor there. This is what Wheeler had to say about Tristan Luneau. He plays a cerebral two-way game that lends itself to driving play. And while he's a high floor, low ceiling type, his size, maturity, roundedness, and discreet offensive game and skating, both of which I will expect to show themselves more next season with full health and a summer of steady training, should make him an efficient, all-purpose guy. And that gets me into his struggle, which was a knee surgery over the summer. So not only did he only get to play 20-odd games last year, as the Q was the last to start with COVID, it was a bit of a gong show for his rookie season. He still won Defensive Rookie of the Year in the Q. He goes in, misses his entire summer of training with a knee procedure, misses training camp, misses the first 3 games of the season. So, of course, it's going to take him a while to get up to speed. Well, in the second half, he went off and really kind of established himself as a first-round talent, helped the Gatineau Olympiques make it to the second round of the playoffs, played all situations there. And I agree with Scott that this is a high-floor player that will be an NHLer one day. Pilsy, you're not going to like to see with this, though. Scott has Luneau 1 pick, 1 ranking ahead of Ty Nelson.
Yeah, and I mean that's fair. Like, they're very similar players. I would say Luneau is a little bit more well-rounded, whereas Nelson is a little more offensively focused, and that's why I lean towards Nelson, because I could see where he fits in. Whereas Luneau, I feel like it's tough to really pinpoint where he's going to fit in on a team.
Pilsy, we've got a run of 3 right-hand defensemen for Wheeler, because he's got Ryan Chesley 1 spot ahead of Luneau at 30th. So again, it's kind of a pick your favorite of 3 pretty similar players.
Yeah, definitely.
Although Chesley, you're going to get a bit more of the defensive acumen versus offensive for now.
It's kind of funny, Ross. It's almost like the Goldilocks and 3 Bears situation here. Like one is too hot. That's Ty Nelson. He's too offensive. One is just right. Luneau, he does both really well. He's a two-way guy. And then Chesley is a little more defensive, maybe a little too cold with the puck. So it's kind of funny how you get that mix there all together. But sticking with Luneau here, I agree with Scott. A definitely high floor, low ceiling type of guy. I don't think he's going to be available for the Sens, Ross. Like we talked about, take out the outliers of the rankings we have, and it really seems like he's going to go anywhere between 20th and 37th. So that's why I'm a little down on Luneau. I think someone's going to snatch him. So I've got him at 3.5 stars, just because I would prefer either go harder defensive mode with Chesley, or go harder offensive mode with Nelson. That's where I would go with those options. So I feel like Luneau, it doesn't make a lot of sense for the Sens to draft him. But I think he's going to be a great player.
Yeah, I think he'll be a good player too. January 12th birthday, 2004. So he's already been 18 for a little while. He's from Trois-Rivières as well. And again, we mentioned first overall pick to the Gatineau Olympiques. You can see the consolidated rankings a bit all over the place as well. We don't typically use McKeen's, but we do respect their work a lot. I know we watched the scouting videos going into these. They have him at 22nd. And then you look, he's got the pedigree. We said he wore an A for times this year, and then he had the C in his last year of playing. And it was 31 games that he got to play in that first COVID shortened season. And then he was able to up his production, get lots of goals, 12 in 63 games here with the Gatineau Olympiques. He also played in the Youth Olympic Games for Canada, the under 16s, and wore a letter there. So he's a guy whose pedigree has followed him or started him up to get to where he is. And I'll go. What'd you say for stars?
I think he's a 4-star player, but I just don't think he's going to be available in the Sens range. So I did 3.5.
Okay. We can't have the exact same. So I'll say.
Yeah, we can.
I'll say 3. All right. Okay. I'll do 3.5 then. Because I think
don't downside him just because we don't have the same stars here.
Yeah, it's not nice. Not nice. Now, Elite Prospects did say that skating is a real problem in straight lines. but he does have good four-way mobility.
Okay.
So that's something that if he needs to work on something, that quick acceleration, like example, puck gets turned over in the offensive zone and he's the help side. He's like the far end. Puck gets turned over left, he's right. He's not often going to catch the guy on the back check. So he needs to, do a couple suicides and you'll be ready to go in practice, couple back and end and forth. And I think he'll be a solid defenseman, a guy who can be a second power play quarterback in a pinch and be a solid player. So I got 3.5 stars for Tristan Luneau.